A high-profile trial is underway in Belgium for the only surviving suspect in the 2015 Paris Islamic extremist terrorist attacks. It's the first of what could be several trials for the man who was once Europe's most wanted. But he's only half the story. His Brussels neighborhood is the other half. Scott Thuman looks at how one city is trying to end its reputation as a worldwide threat.
In a small part of this European capital, the traditional Belgian feel has been replaced with Moroccan flair. The Molenbeek neighborhood of Brussels has been labeled a breeding ground for terror, and it's again the focus of attention because its most notorious resident is accused of taking part in one of the world's worst terror attacks. In November of 2015, when a Friday evening in Paris turned into a horrifying spectacle of coordinated attacks at cafes, restaurants, and the Bataclan Theater, 9 terrorists affiliated with ISIS killed 130 people and injured more than 400 others. 4 of the attackers were from Molenbeek. Only one of the suspects is eventually caught alive, Salah Abdeslam, a Belgian who returned here and was arrested after a shootout with police. This month, he went on trial for that gunfight. And he's far from the only young man here who turned radical. Belgium, as a whole, has an outsized role filling the ranks of ISIS. The nation has the highest number of foreign fighters of any Western country. You think he just drove the vehicles? Yes. During our 2015 visit, Geraldine Enadia told us her son's radicalization in Molenbeek led to his death on the Syrian battlefields. You just know that in the end,
yes.
What happened?
What happened, there was the attack of the airport of Der Selzor. It was in February 2015, and it was the collision, and he died. And I received only a short message, 5 lines. You are the mum of Anis, yes. Please note that your son is died. He was a good guy, he was everyday laughing, and here we are very shocked, only that. I have no photo, I have no body, I have nothing.
They live somewhere in an emptiness. Their life is something empty. They know there is not really a future for them.
Johan Lehmann, an activist and university professor, predicted there would be more Molenbeek-related incidents. He was right. A Molenbeek resident was also linked to the 2016 deadly bombings at the Brussels airport and subway, killing 32.
I think our approach of the phenomenon is too bureaucratic. And also, you know, the ideology of freedom of expression, you know, pluralism and this. And Belgium is a small country. We have not a tradition of this explosive possibility of terrorist acts and so on. We were not prepared for the global world. And all the consequences of the globalization, and we have it under control. We hadn't it under control.
With its mayor saying publicly that mosques are being controlled by radicals, there's a push to put some under government control. Police patrols have stepped up, and intelligence agencies are trying to identify groups with links to terrorism. One leaked report suggested there could be dozens. But among the other changes, and perhaps most important, they are adding opportunities for young people in this area where unemployment runs 3 times the national average. Enter Molengeek, a tech startup teaching computer coding and website development and getting support from heavy hitters Google and Samsung, who saw the need to invest, quote, with a sense of urgency. As the campaigns in Iraq and Syria continue to capture more foreign fighters, there's another challenge. Defense Secretary General James Mattis recently called on European nations to take back and try jihadists that are caught on the battlefield. Belgium reportedly has dozens of them to deal with and no plan in place, since in many cases they aren't wanted back on Belgian soil. For Full Measure, I'm Scott Thuman.
As for that trial in Belgium of the sole surviving suspect in the Paris terror attacks, Salah Abdeslam refused to answer questions or even appear in court for most of the case. The verdict will be issued next month.